Let's continue the new lesson here. Forces in balance. So forces in balance का क्या मतलब होता है? When the forces are in balance, actually we are talking about the net force that is equal to zero. And that happens only when you are having equal magnitude of forces acting in opposite directions, right?
Yes.
So here, the definition of force is a force is a push or pull exerted by one object on another. It has direction as well as magnitude, so it is a vector. We know that it's a vector. The SI unit of force is newtons. Small forces can be measured using a spring balance, like the one below. The greater force, the more the spring is stretched, and the higher the reading on the scale. The spring mass system is something that can give you a measure of forces. We have also done the virtual experiment of this case, right? If you remember, हम क्या करते थे? हम weight hang करते थे spring से और फिर वहां से force निकाल, याद है?
Yes.
और वहां से हम spring constant भी find करते थे. The property of the spring, how much it could be stretched or compressed. Okay. Typical forces in Newton. Force to switch on a bathroom light is 10 newtons. That is a really small force. Force to
Wow,
pull,
that's 1 kilogram of
yeah.
force.
Force to pull open a drinks can, that is 20
2
newtons.
kilogram.
Force to lift a heavy suitcase is 200 newtons. While
20
force,
kilo,
force from a large jet engine is
25,000 kilograms.
250,000 newtons. Yeah, 25,000 kilograms with an acceleration of 10 meters per second squared. So, what are the common forces they are telling here? Upthrust, weight in water, mostly in liquids when.
Oh, we learned this.
Hmm?
We learned this.
हमने अभी थोड़े दिन पहले भी आर्किमिडीज प्रिंसिपल के बारे में पढ़ा था, बायोम्सी के बारे में हमने रिवीजन किया था, तो वी गॉट टू नो कि जब भी किसी ऑब्जेक्ट को किसी लिक्विड में आप सबमर्ज करते हैं, so you get a force from the liquid that is equals to the weight of the object, that is called upthrust. Similarly, when the thrust is from the air, from the gas,
Seriously.
it's called air resistance, and it is the thrust that carries the plane ahead. The force of the engine is usually called as thrust. ठीक है?
Yes.
तो
Yes.
thrust से आपने confuse नहीं होना है. Upthrust and thrust are two different things in two different mediums. Similarly, tension and friction are
Yes.
well studied forces. इसके अलावा और कौन कौन सी forces होती हैं?
Friction, tension, thrust, weight, thrust, air resistance.
The weight and normal reaction. Remember that.
What did you say?
The weight and normal reaction are the normal force.
Yes.
ठीक है, तो वो भी तो action reaction forces है ना. अच्छा. Motion without. What do they mean by motion without? ऐसा हो सकता है कि कोई force ना हो और movement हो रही हो.
Meaning?
हाँ, मीनिंग ही तो पूछ रही हूँ मैं आपसे. मोशन विदाउट फोर्स का क्या मतलब?
On Earth, unpowered vehicles soon come to rest because of friction, but with no friction, gravity, or other external force on it, a moving object keep moving forever at a steady speed in a straight line. Then need the force to keep it moving. This idea is summed up in the law first. You forward, sir, by Sir Isaac. I have a question. Was Isaac Newton knighted, like from the Queen? That's why his name is Sir.
No, he was given this क्या कहते हैं उसको, लक़ब मिला था ना, हाँ, टाइटल मिला था उनको सर, due to his, just because he was also the lecturer and professor he was, although he did such works on the basis of them, he got the title of sir.
Maybe I have watched a movie called as Gravity, and that movie convinced me not to go to space at all.
देखिए स्पेस में भी जो मूवमेंट हो रही है और कोई भी ऐसी मूवमेंट जिसको आप मोशन विदाउट फोर्स कहेंगे, force equals zero means acceleration equals zero, right?
Wait, then does that mean you do not need much fuel in space? Like you just thrust it up once?
Yes.
Just make
Good.
one small thrust and you're like moving.
Exactly. So no force means no acceleration. No acceleration means Acceleration का मतलब acceleration अगर आपके पास 0, it doesn't mean you are not moving. It means you are moving with a constant speed, right?
Yes.
So all the motion that are there without any force are called as steady speed motion or constant velocity movement. जिसके लिए आप उस
Yes.
constant velocity को क्या कहते हैं? Terminal velocity. Remember that?
Yes.
When a liquid tube has a ball that travels inside the fluid, it gains a terminal velocity. That is the constant velocity. When the forces, the upthrust and the weight of the ball becomes equal, you get a constant velocity. Acceleration becomes 0. Similarly, when a paratrooper and the person are just landing on the ground, there comes a point where the weight of the person and the air resistance or the thrust becomes equal and the acceleration equals 0, and the person lands to the ground with a constant terminal velocity, right?
Wait a second. That's how the people in the cartoons they fall from the planes and they somehow survive.
Yeah, you can say that. So this is what I'm trying to make you understand, that if there's no force, there's no acceleration, but still there can be a movement that would be called as steady speed. That is given as a first law of motion, जो हमने पढ़ा हुआ भी है, Newton's first law. If no external force is acting on it, an object will, if it's stationary, remain stationary. अगर वो stationary है, वो move नहीं कर रहा, it is at rest, it will remain at rest. But if it is moving, it would keep moving at the constant speed or the steady speed in a straight line. It won't even change its direction. ठीक है?
Yes.
Okay, deep in the space with
So
no
in the movie Gravity, the same thing happened. It starts that they're in a space shuttle and they're fixing something, and then they say that there's a Russian missile that destroyed a satellite, so the peace is coming. Now you know that around here objects move at 20,000 miles per hour, so any small thing can destroy a huge space station
yes.
because of the speed.
अब यहाँ ये लिखा है deep in the space with no forces to slow it, a moving object will keep moving forever. अच्छा भी. And we call this thing as a Newton's first law of motion. No force means steady motion or at rest. Okay, then you have balanced forces. An object may have several forces on it, but if the forces are in balance, they cancel each other out. Then the object behaves as if there were no force on it at all. Here are some examples. The weight and upward force from the bent beam, that is also called could be also called as reaction force, the normal force. Weight, upward force from the squash ice. Air resistance and the weight. All of these forces are balanced forces because they are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. However, these three are different situations. With balanced forces on it, an object is either at rest or moving with steady velocity
Steady speed.
in a straight line. ये बात याद रखनी है फ्रास कि steady speed जब हम कहते हैं, constant velocity जब हम कहते हैं, that means कि उसकी direction भी constant है. आपको याद होगा जब हमने circular motion पढ़ा था तो मैंने आपको यही बताया था, in circular motion bodies do accelerate just because of their changing directions. Remember that? क्योंकि वहां आपके पास centripetal acceleration. अब वो acceleration क्यों आती है? क्योंकि object is continuously changing its direction, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Subscribe.